Filmmaker, I want to be. Filmmaker, you want to be. Talk about it. Let's. Oh, it's good to be back. I apologize for that weird Yoda impression intro, but yeah, last week I was on vacation all week, and I was kind of taking a break from everything. And yeah, I that's when I uploaded the action video, the office chair warfare. What do you guys think about that? Comment below what you thought about it. I thought it turned out all right. It was a lot of fun to make, and I don't know, it was just really goofy, and I just wanted it to be really over the top and fun. So this week, we are going to be talking about my gear, the equipment that I use, everything from my camera all the way down to the batteries I put in it. And basically, I was planning on doing this at some point eventually, but I actually had gotten a couple comments recently about what equipment that I use, so I figured I'd do it now. So the way that I'm going to do this basically is that I'm going to go through all of my things, starting with kind of the smaller things to the bigger things. I'll start with my lighting and audio, things like that, and work my way up to things like my camera and my editing computer. I'll put links in the description for everything that I talk about if I can. Some things I just built, some things I just had lying around. Things like my computer, my friend built, so I won't be able to put a link in the description for something like that if you're in the market for an editing computer. But everything that I can put links for, I will. And one last thing to keep in mind, this is an ever-expanding collection of equipment and gear that I use on a regular basis, so it is constantly changing, and I'm constantly trading things with people, or buying new things, or selling old things. So the things that I show you today and talk about today might not be the same in a week. So let's start with something like lighting. Lighting is something that I think a lot of young filmmakers tend to look over and not think about a whole lot, because it's not really at the forefront of your mind when you're making a movie. But if you don't spend at least a decent a little bit of money or a little bit of time and effort into your lighting, you can kind of just throw your whole movie off, and you'll lose the tone and the color palette of what you're trying to go for, because you have a vision in your head. It's just all about getting there. So lighting is something that really helps with that, and I think having decent lighting equipment, or just different things that you can pull from, I think really helps when you're trying to pull off the tone and the feel of what you're trying to make. For lighting, I have a regular lamp in the corner that I just use when I shoot things in my room like this, like the vlogs. I have 3 can lights from Home Depot that I use pretty much for anything, because they're so versatile, because they just have clamps on them, so I can put them just about anywhere. I have 5 regular light bulbs and 1 spray painted yellow light bulb with like a heat resistant paint, just to get a little bit of a mood lighting in certain shots if I want to have a little bit more splash of yellow. I have a couple different colors too, but yellow is the one that I find myself using the most. I'm not sure why, but it is. Another thing that I use a ton is this Chinese lantern. Basically, it creates just a nice glow instead of a harsh light, and it's more diffuse and less sharp, and it's just a really nice glow, and as opposed to the really harsh light that you would get from just a light bulb. So it really spreads things out and kind of throws the light everywhere, which looks really good. I use that a lot of times for my fill light, where like this side of my face is lit by that because it's a really soft light, and then I'll have my harsher key lights over in the corner over here. That'll be like the bigger lamp and things like that. And the pop out board that I have is really similar to the Chinese lantern in that its purpose is to diffuse light and kind of throw it everywhere. It's really versatile because it comes with two or three, I guess, really, different kinds of like textures you can use to bounce light off. So the silver is more for something when you're out in the sunlight and you're trying to bounce light up onto someone. The gold, same thing. And then the white, the clear, is kind of more for like diffusing, just like the Chinese lantern was. Then last but not least, for my lighting, I just have a regular desk lamp and a couple extra extension cords in that bin, just in case I need another light, or to get a light further from the power source. So that's it for my lighting. So I'm all about doing things the cheapest way possible, the most efficient and best looking, best sounding way, but also cheap. So instead of a professional boom pole, I just have a painter's pole that I've mounted a shoe mount on the top of. I just had it lying around, and so I just put those two things together, and now I have a boom pole, and I just run the cord down to it to my audio recorder, and it works fine for what it is, and it looks super unprofessional, but if it works, I might as well do it. And that takes us to my audio recorder. My audio recorder is an H1 Zoom. It runs on AA batteries and takes micro SD cards. It's really nice for the price, and I think it really it has cleaned up my audio a lot, because before I would just take this mic and run it through the camera right here, and basically that was it, and it would record right with the video, so I didn't have to do any syncing, but it still had that kind of fuzz, especially when it was on top of the camera, so there would always be that little jitter in the sound. But now that it's running through the audio recorder, it's a lot more clean and it sounds a lot more natural. There are definitely way more expensive audio recorders, but for what I do, this is perfect. And the microphone that I use that runs into that audio recorder is a Rode Mini Shotgun. It's a really great mic. It's really directional, so if I'm talking really close here and then go to the side and then the back, it records things in the front first, then the sides a little bit, and you can barely hear anything from behind the microphone. So it's really good for what I need it for. It's really good for pointing at two people if they're having a conversation. Point at one person, turn it every time they have dialogue back and forth. So it's really great, and it's great for the price, and I use it a ton. I use it for everything. And for the headphones that I use that run out the other side of the audio recorder, so the audio technician, whoever's doing it, whoever's running the microphone, can hear if we're recording or not. I just use these Philips headphones from Target. They were like $30. They're really cheap, and I mean, they work fine. They sound good, and I also use them to edit. So I use them for pretty much everything. And now everything basically from this point to my camera is just random things here and there. So here we go. I have a 10x10 green screen that I use for all my keying. I have a spider shoulder mount that I used to shoot 100% of Office Chair Warfare. So it's really good getting running shots and just being stable on my shoulder. So I love that thing. It was only like $50 too. I have a small tripod that's really cheap. It was like maybe $15. It's made out of plastic, but it holds up my microphone to where I need it to be right here. So I just use that for whenever I need to mount a microphone. I have my slate, which is just a dry erase board. Basically, you can write whatever you need on the front of it and clap it to sync the audio and the video. You can't really go wrong with any kind of slate. I mean, if you need a specific kind, you can get that specific kind, but they all do the same thing basically. I have an Orion ProAm crane. I really want to show you guys this, but I don't think this video, I don't want it to go over too long, so I don't want to show it in this video. I'll do a completely separate video on that if you guys want me to, but it's really cool and it's good for establishing shots, so that'll be a separate video hopefully in the future. My main tripod that I use is this bad boy. It's a Ravelli AVTP. It has 2-stage locking and it's pretty good. I wish it had a ped up, ped down feature, but other than that, it's a really solid tripod, and I use it for every time I need to use a tripod shot on my camera. So that's my main tripod. I've also got a Rokinon digital monopod. I don't use it too often, but when I do, I can come up with some great uses for it, and I can kind of use it as a steady cam sometimes, but whenever I need to use it, I have it, so it's a great backup if I forgot my tripod or something. All right, last thing before we get to my camera is my editing computer. Like I said, a friend of mine built this for me, and I edit everything on this. All the visual effects and all the editing that I do, syncing, everything is done on this computer. It's a beast. I love it so much. It's really good. And like I said, I can't put a link because my friend built it. The keyboard was $5 at a garage sale, and for $5 it works fine. The computer is where I do all my editing, like I said. But also all of the visual effects and audio work. I do most of my writing on my laptop, which is actually a Lenovo ThinkPad, and after 3 years it's still working great. But that's where I do all my writing usually, and then I'll do all the editing, visual effects, and audio syncing on my big desktop. All right, and now on to my camera. For my camera, I use a Canon Rebel T5i. I love this thing. It's a great camera to start out with. I have had it for almost 3 years now, and it's really, really nice. I'm not super well versed in like the technical side of using cameras, so it's a great starter tripod to kind of ease you into the idea of shutter and ISO and aperture and things like that. So it's really great for stuff like that, and it's a great advancement into the cameras that I've used, because in the past I've used cameras like this and an iPhone 4. So this is a big step up for me. I've had it for like 3 years, like I said. I'm probably gonna get a new camera soon, but I love this thing, and I'll always be using it. For the lens, I use the only lens that it came with. It's an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. It came with the camera for the kit that I got that I'll put the link in the description for. And it's basically all I need at the moment. I don't really need anything too fancy, no big like telephoto lenses or anything too crazy. So this is fine for now. I've got a couple of ND filters and macro lenses. I have a telephoto lens as well, just attachments for the front of the lens that I already have. They're not any extra lenses or anything. I've got 5 batteries that I sort of cycle through. Just, whenever one's out, I just throw in the next one. So it's nice. It's definitely nice having multiple batteries, not having to worry about running out and not being able to continue shooting. And another thing that I keep with my camera are these. Optica makes these white balance cards. You got black, gray, and white. All 3 of them you can use in different settings to set the color tone for the piece and what you're shooting that day. And they're great just to have on hand because I used to have to run around and try and find a white piece of paper to white balance off of, but now that I have these, I don't have to worry about that, and they're always just hanging around my neck, so it's pretty great. And last but not least is the bag that I carry all this stuff in. I have a low pro bag. It's really small, but I mean, I don't really need anything bigger for what I have. It has a pocket for pretty much everything that I need to be carrying around, so it's great. All right, so that does it for my gear episode, I guess. Ooh, can we call this Top Gear? No. All right, so that does it for all my gear. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope the people that sent me questions, I hope this answered your questions. And if you like what you saw here, as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. This has been a Runaway Brain production, and I'll see you guys next time.